This week,
we dive into the world of plants at MCHS. We bring back celebrities from the past,
honor our veterans during Veterans Day,
express ourselves in the art pathway,
join the biggest club on campus,
and play Dungeons & Dragons with Trading Cards Club.
All of that and more
on the Warrior Weekly. Good morning, Warriors, and welcome to this week's edition of the Warrior Weekly, presented by Warrior Student Media. I'm Alex Julio.
And I'm Juan Mendez. We hope that you had an incredible break, Warriors. Today we look back at Chess Club's last meet, American Studies' biggest project of the year, and highlights McHenry High School's biggest club.
But first, Garden Club hosted their annual Garden Night, where the members of the community came to watch and buy their best plants in McHenry.
On November 14th, On November 14th, the McHenry Community Garden Club hosted their annual holiday showcase. Audience members had a chance to win floral arrangements by companies and shops attending this showcase.
It's basically like the floral, flower designing companies in McHenry. They make these big arrangements and then they raffle them off to the people that buy tickets.
Liam Yamas, a member of the MCHS's Garden Club, explains how members of the club contributed to making the event come to life.
We basically just kind of helped set up everything and take things where they needed to go, and we helped the people bring the arrangements to their cars.
While the McHenry Garden Club orchestrates the holiday floral show, MCHS's Garden Club member, Elena Mahacek, explains how there are many aspects that made this year's floral show different from the previous ones.
There was a lot more florists that came in, and then we had a full house of guests. The flower arrangements were much larger than they normally are.
Elena Mahacek explains her favorite part about volunteering for the holiday floral show.
Definitely seeing all of the different design and flowers that came into the show today.
The showcase was a huge success here at MCHS. If you're interested in joining McHenry's Garden Club, please contact Mrs. Zaria Nana at the freshman campus. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we're Emberlyn Carlson, McKenna Harvey, Allie Casey, and Maggie Machashik. Have a great week, Warriors.
Next, each fall American Studies hosts their annual Chautauqua event where juniors dress up as famous figures and debate as their personality. Warrior Student Media has a story.
On November 16th and 17th, juniors in American Studies classes gathered at the Upper Campus Auditorium to participate in the annual Chautauqua event.
It is a combination of people students impersonating historical and current figures and participating in conversation and speeches and debate about controversial topics of today, and then also entertaining with some skits. And it's a way for kids to be imaginative and creative and express themselves as if they were, with the ideas of someone else. And so it challenges them, I think, with critical thinking skills.
As Chautauqua is one of the biggest projects for American Studies students, work and preparation begins as early as the first week of school, making it a whole semester project.
The planning process of Chautauqua took about the entirety of this semester so far. So basically, our first full week on that Monday is when we started getting our characters and started doing our initial introduction to our character and bio and getting behind them so we know what that is. Then just throughout the weeks, we'd get introduced to new assignments where it would just get bigger and bigger. So we're basically just building up to a one giant speech that we would say at Chautauqua.
The discussion and debate of current controversial topics allows students to work on their argumentative skills and gives them the opportunity to hear various opinions.
The major thing it teaches students is just how to have civil discourse. We talk a lot about civil discourse in the classroom. How do we have meaningful conversations and have arguments in which we're presenting facts and reasoning and not just attacking character? So it's a way to have students do that all together in a large setting, practice those public speaking skills as well, and kind of just give them a chance to debate, which doesn't happen all that often anymore.
A lot of people have very, very differing opinions, and you wouldn't be able to be exposed to them. Otherwise, in this case, we were able to be exposed to these opinions and what people thought or how things can be fixed.
As Chautauqua concludes, Honors American Studies students can proudly look back at their success throughout the debates and apply these skills to future experiences. As students enjoy taking on new identities and dressing up, we look forward to seeing what new characters will come in the following Chautauqua events. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we're Maddie Spencer, Alyssa Thomas, and Riley Byron.
The magical dinner is this Saturday. See MCHS students dress up as Renaissance folk and perform at the freshman campus at both 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. Talk to Mr. Galovich if you have any questions.
Now in our final edition of Veterans Series, McHenry High School hosted 12 different military members who have served to share their stories on Veterans Day.
In the early weeks of November, we celebrated our annual Veterans Day speakers with former military members and spoke about their time of service.
Yeah, Veterans Day is one of the best days that we look forward to in the Social Studies Division. It does take a lot of planning. We start in October, actually earlier, to try to get veterans who want to participate, and we do this at both the freshman campus and the upper campus. So it's just been a lot trying to get veterans and working out a schedule, but it's an enjoyable process, and we get to meet new people, which is great. So what's unique about this event is that the veterans that come in, I consider them local heroes, they have an opportunity to engage with students a lot. So what we do is we have veterans speak briefly just to introduce themselves, and the rest of the time is Q&As where students have the opportunity to ask them questions. And every period is unique because students ask different questions, and it's kind of cool to hear different perspectives from the veterans. And what I think is awesome is, like, at the end, students have the opportunity to shake their hands and to get to know them and introduce themselves. And every time we do this, the veterans tell me how amazed they are by how respectful our MCHS students are.
Mr. Sterner gives us a little insight on what we can expect at this year's event.
Like I said, it's just a great opportunity for students. And then I personally get the chance to talk to the veterans individually, and you learn a lot. Like this year, we have a World War II veteran coming in, which is so awesome. He's in his mid to late 90s. And he's going to be coming in and sharing his story. And he fought in some of the most famous battles that you guys learn about when you study World War II. We have a gentleman who was in the Pentagon during 9/11. So we get to hear his story. And then we hear from alumni, which is great, and current teachers. And then we have other veterans that are coming for the first time. So it's great to meet them as well. So we have a diverse group of veterans, and it's just going to be a great opportunity to hear their stories.
Veteran Ryan Yanis explains.
Going into the military, make sure you know what you want to do. Listen to the recruiter. If you have a conversation with the recruiter, get the deal in writing before you sign the contract, and then commit. Do what you've said you want to do. There are countless. I had 23 years of active duty. I had 4 years of being a cadet beforehand. And serving with great people and meeting people from around the world to find solutions and to make solutions and help get people out of problems. I joined the Army in 1983, commissioned as a second lieutenant in the cavalry. I served for 23 years and retired in 2006.
Reporting for the Warrior Weekly were Juliana Fontanetta, Jack Fisher, Emily Ostrander, and Rylan Davis.
Next, the Art Pathway at McHenry is one of the premier ways that students can not only get a real-life job experience, but also express themselves creatively.
Warrior Student Media has the story.
MCHS students are responsible for all the unique art pieces around the upper campus. The Art Pathway allows for students to share their creative thoughts and ideas.
So we offer several different art classes based on a student's interests. The first art classes that students begin in is Art and Design 1, where you work with a variety of different art materials from 2-dimensional to 3-dimensional. Photography, students learn how to take photography using their phones and DSLR cameras.
Ms. Barb Drufke explains why she likes teaching art and how the students have improved over time.
I love teaching art. I love seeing students grow, especially when I have them as a sophomore and I see how much they've grown through senior year and how creative they can be and just the decisions that they make when they create their art. It's just a lot of fun to be an art teacher.
Senior Mia Wigington shares how she expresses her creativity through art and design.
I think it's almost therapeutic. I use it, to show emotions or things that I'm struggling with, and I, use that to paint and stuff like that. So it's a nice way to express emotions through that way.
Wigington explains how the art classes progress over time and the professional experiences it can give you.
I think it's a lot more structured, and it's structured, but also you can go a little bit more freely, and you kind of go more around a portfolio and a theme, and we do more college-like discussions and stuff like that.
If you're interested in creating art and expressing your imagination, be sure to talk to your counselor to take art next semester. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly were Oscar Kaloje, Marco Vizhnovac, and Travis Kokinos.
Next, Key Club is the McHenry's biggest club on campus. Warrior Student Media attended their last meeting to learn what the most selfless club at McHenry High School is all about.
Key Club is an after-school club that helps out local organizations by volunteering. Students in Key Club are motivated to volunteer by sharing a skill of helping others in need. Key Club advisor Emma Teal elaborates further on how you gain empathetic traits while doing a community service.
So I was in Key Club myself, down where I grew up, down around Springfield. And when I came here over 24 years ago, there was a Key Club advisor my first year teaching, and she moved out of state. And so the principal at the time knew I had experience in Key Club, so he asked me to become the Key Club advisor, and I've been here ever since. So in the short term, it helps people get their Distinguished Warrior hours, and helps give them their extracurricular hour for Distinguished Warrior, and it just helps to start to feel empathy for other people because we are a community service organization. In the long term, I've had students that have done activities with us for NISRA, like our Valentine's Day dance that we sponsor, and then have gone on to have a career in special education or occupational therapy or recreational therapy. I love seeing kids grow and mature through the years, like seeing them as freshmen be very scared and intimidated coming to meetings or projects and activities and not knowing what to do, and then by the time they're seniors, they're like, I got this, I'm in control, I know what I'm doing, and just seeing them mature and grow as people through the 4 years that they're here in high school.
Key Club President Jacob Jensen explains how he was inspired to join the club and how he has grown with the community.
I would say the reach of Key Club. A lot of other organizations help out around the community, but Key Club just does such a wide variety of events. We do everything. I was inspired by my sister, and then once I got in, I realized how great the club was, and I stuck with it.
Key Club member Jasmine Ortiz further elaborates how her experience in Key Club has pushed her to continue to sign up for events.
I think my favorite part is me and my friends all join together, so when there are volunteering hours, we all sign up together. It's a more hands-on club, and you can one example is that we did dog toys, and I feel like other clubs don't really include that kind of stuff, and I got to build relationships with other people.
Key Club member Ruben Gonzalez and Gia Shaw explain further how they were inspired to have the ability to help their community consistently without any roadblocks.
What inspired me to join Key Club was the ability to help my community and being able to do it consistently without any sort of, you can only do it multiple times. It's just how many times you want to do it with a pure feeling. Yeah.
I think what makes Key Club different from others club is that it's the largest high school organization. It's student-led, which allows these students to develop leadership opportunities throughout many different areas. So for instance, you can develop leadership experience through your school, but also through district level and also through even international level.
The consistent ability to help, I feel like helping is good, especially with your community, especially with people that can't do things that we can normally do. So I feel like that it's a big motivation to be able to keep doing it.
If you'd like to join the club, talk to Ms. Teal or Ms. Kirk about joining the club. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we are Brayden Mosov, Callie Kordomash, Alex Julio, and Cameron Mitchell.
Finally, want to be a wizard? A barbarian? There's one club on campus that will let you do it.
McHenry High School Trading Card Club plays Dungeons and Dragons and more every single Thursday. Warrior Student Media was there to capture it all.
MCHS provides many after-school clubs to cater to the interests and hobbies of students, like the Trading Card Club. Whether it's cards or fantasy games, the club provides a place to play. Mr. Adam Alanis, co-advisor of the club, tells the story of how the club was started.
It started by a bunch of students who were not involved in any other activities, and they asked me to start the club for them. And I didn't have anything going on after school, so I thought, sure, why not? And it's been a lot of fun. I had no idea. I didn't know anything about Magic the Gathering, so I've learned a lot, and I kind of enjoy the game now.
Every week, sophomore Alex Staines brings in boxes of donuts for the club. Alex explains his motives for why he does this.
I got hungry one time, and basically I think it was last year, someone brought pizza in, Mr. Melenas brought pizza in one time, or he ordered it, and it came at like 5:30, like when the club meeting ended. So it was like, well, what if I bring donuts in? And then I was like, and then I did it. And then I started doing it for like weeks straight, and that's what happened. And it gets people to sign on.
Mr. Melenas shares how the club captivates him.
I like seeing that there's students just having fun, channeling their inner geek, having a lot of fun and being with friends. And a lot of these students who are involved in this club, they're not involved in other activities at the school. So I think it's kind of cool to see like non-traditional students have a place to belong.
Trading Card Club meets every Thursday in the Warrior Room. Reporting for the Warrior Weekly, we are Aaron Duarte, Grace Summers, Mika Doe, and Juan Mendez.
That's all for today's show. Be sure to follow the Warrior Weekly on all social media platforms, including Twitter, Insta, and TikTok.
For Juan Mendez and all of Warriors social media, I'm Alex Julio. Have a great week, Warriors.